But one of the things that's come up on this channel a few times is that, well, theoretically, could Wizards of the Coast solve? Because, well, Ryan Dancy's statement and position, and also mine, is that Wizards of the Coast needs to articulate a clear statement that it believes that it recognizes that the OGL is irrevocable and cannot be deauthorized. That's what I want. That's what he wants. That's what a lot of other people in the community want, and it seems to be like Paizo's understanding and so forth. That's what we want. But some people have asked, would it solve our situation if Wizards of the Coast released an update to the OGL? Let's call it OGL 1.0b. And it was identical to the current OGL, but it included this term irrevocable. Would that solve our problem? Why or why not?
Yeah, I think it would to a large extent. I mean, the entire question of whether or not it's irrevocable is largely a function of drafting, right? So the OGL as it's currently drafted does not use the word revocable or irrevocable. And so being a good lawyer, I can come up with arguments on both sides of that debate as to whether or not it's revocable or irrevocable. I could point to statements made by Ryan Dancy, right, an executive of Wizards of the Coast at the relevant time when the OGL was initially published, where he states that it's irrevocable. I can point to, various sort of arguments about the logic of the license and the functioning of the license and how it's been used and how WotC has responded to those uses over the years. And I can sort of corral a bunch of arguments and say, look, it was intended to be irrevocable. It functionally was irrevocable. It should be irrevocable sort of on a normative basis, like on a moral basis. But certainly if WotC was going to alter the license or amend it to stipulate that it was explicitly irrevocable, yeah, that would go a long way to solving a lot of the mysteries here. Now, that being said, I mean, one of the challenges and part of the nature of this kind of license is, if they said it was irrevocable tomorrow, that doesn't necessarily stop them from asserting a contrary position 5 years from now or 10 years from now, right? So to take your example, if they came out with 1.0b, inserting the word irrevocable, what happens if 5 years later they come out with 1.0c and delete the word irrevocable and insert the word revocable? So you sort of end up punting the assessment down the road a bit. But yeah, certainly if anybody's looking, or if anybody at WotC is like looking to kind of calm the waters here and set out a public statement which is going to, I think, decrease the turbulence, definitively stating that it's irrevocable would be really, really helpful.
Well, wait, let's make sure we're distinguishing between two things. There would be a statement saying that we believe it is irrevocable, like 1.0a is exactly what everyone has thought it has been, which is what Ryan Dancy and I have been advocating for. Mm-hmm. There'd be another position, which is release an updated version of the license. Which one do you think is more definitive?
I mean, I would ask why we can't have both. Certainly,
we could have both.
The more definitive one would be an amendment to the license, which states that it's irrevocable.
Okay, so my question then would be, if I've got we're going to get into the forward propagation of this, but if I've got a book that has 1.0a in it, right? Mm-hmm. Does that, and so do we not? My thinking was that I need clarity about what exactly 1.0a is, because I've got a book that's licensed under that. Mm-hmm. Now, we could republish it under 1.0b, mm-hmm. but clarity of what 1.0a was seeming to me to be important.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's helpful, although, again, unless and until somebody asserts something to the contrary, in a legal claim, like in front of a court, I'm not sure that we sort of get any farther ahead by arguing over whether or not it's revocable or irrevocable. Right? Let's just take the position that it's irrevocable, which is the one that I would adopt, and what I think should be the case. I certainly think it would be helpful if WotC sort of adopted that position for a variety of reasons. But people just keep doing what they've been doing. People have been acting like it's irrevocable for 23 years. I don't see any particular reason to change that.